Hey, what's going on, family? It's Todd from No Picks Podcast.
What's up? This is Joe, No Picks Podcast. What's up, family?
All right, so today we're going to react to some TikTok content, right? So this creator talks about the 50-50 conversation, right? So we're going to play her clip and we're going to react to it.
All right, let's do it.
I know I normally come on here and bash men, y'all, but I'm really not trying to drag nobody in this. I'm just specifically saying that if you're a man, the man is supposed to provide, correct? This topic alone is going to spike some kind of heat into somebody because we live in a world now where women feel like they can provide. They don't need a man. Some men nowadays feel like they don't need to provide because it's 2024. They shouldn't have to put out their all for a woman who is independent and da-da-da. Like this, that conversation alone, you can talk about it for ages, right? But realistically, right, we as women expect the man to provide and lead and take care of us, correct? Okay, so how can a man lead, provide, and take care of us if he is financially not doing well? That's one. And two, he's not mentally okay. If you are a man who does not have his finances in order, you should not be going on dates. You should not be taking women out. Now, I do agree with this with women too, because let me tell you, I'm very much like, I bounce back and forth between the beliefs. I do believe that a man should be providing, protecting, and leading 100%, right? But I also am independent myself and I can lead, provide, and protect myself. You know what I'm saying? And in a relationship, I don't expect a man to be rich and have all the money in the world and we all struggle, you know what I'm saying? So if my man is struggling, I got you. What do you need? Because I would expect the same in return, right? So as for women, we also shouldn't be in a space to be dating when we are not financially right, mentally ill, et cetera, because you shouldn't be relying on no man to pay your bills. You shouldn't be relying on no man to take care of you, right? Because at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, who are you going to fall back on? You've been broke since you met him, babe. You should not be dating. You should be getting your finances in order. So overall, this is not a jab at men and it's not a jab at women. I just feel like do not date if you are financially not ready and if you are mentally not ready. If you are emotionally unavailable, you should not be stepping outside and trying to get to know other people. I know I normally come on here and bash men, y'all, but I'm really not trying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we'll set it up, bro. What you got for me?
So, I mean, listen, I like what she said overall, right? But my question to you is she making sense when she says that, you know, men should be dating if they're not financially able to, and the same as women shouldn't be dating if they're not financially able to?
All right, so I would need clarification on what that means.
Right.
Like, how do I know if I'm not financially ready to, right? Because there's a shorty on the internet going viral right now talking about if a man is making $50,000 a year, he shouldn't be dating. Mm-hmm. So am I now supposed to be dating if I'm only making 50 racks a year? Right. So what does that mean? You know what I mean? Because if we go out to like someplace that's reasonably priced and the total bill comes down to like maybe 100, maybe 120, that's not bad. That's a nice, for me, that's a cheap end of a date. Like 100, 120. Yeah. I know I'm going to spend at least $80, $100 on a date. You know what I mean? So that's like low end. But so what does that mean, first of all, right? But honestly, if you a dude and you ain't got bread like that, you probably shouldn't be dating. I'm not saying you're not allowed to. Yeah. I know that men still have needs and still men still want to have relations with the ladies. But like, if you don't have money to go out there and spend, and you don't have money to lose, and you're not where you need to be, and you're not that guy yet, chasing women is going to leave you broke.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is my thing. Like, I think that women enjoy the convenience of being traditional when it benefits them, but also being untraditional when it also benefits them. So they get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easy to say like, oh, don't date if you can't date. Don't date if you can't afford it. But like, I mean, there's plenty of women that like go on dates and go to bars and shit with no money.
Yeah.
They can't afford it.
That's true. Yeah. As a woman, you don't have to have money. You can go out to a bar and just sit at the bar, and some guy will buy you.
Somebody will buy you a drink.
Somebody will sit. Women will sit there just to get free drinks from guys. That's a thing that happens. So as a shorty, you don't really have to have. See, that's where I disagree with the person with the TikTok poster, where it's like the same thing applies to women.
No,
it doesn't
apply to women.
You can be a broke woman, get into a club that lets women in free, and get drinks all night from men who might try to dance with you or sleep with you. Like, you don't have to have money to date if you are a woman. Yeah. So that where I'm like, nah, women have the luxury, the privilege of not even to have money to date.
And overall, so this is what pisses me off, right? Is that men have a burden of performance,
right,
and women do not. And if they do perform, this is extra. It's like added to the cake. It's like it's supposed to make you like an even more desirable woman.
Right.
But as a man, your requirements are concrete. You can touch it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can touch it, you can feel it, you can taste it.
Yeah.
But women, it's kind of like, oh well,
right.
Man, it's just kind of it is what it is. Type shit. Like it's unfair. It's an unfair deal. Particularly if you want to be seen as an equal partner.
Right.
Now this wouldn't be an issue for me. So now my whole situation, how I look at relations and all that shit is 50-50 from the rip. Because that's what society has propped up.
Right.
So I'm not paying all your fucking bills. Period. At all.
That's a thing now though.
Bro, I'm not paying your fucking bills.
Sprinkle women are like, until you invest a lot of money in me up front, probably no relations. You know what I mean? No guts. Cool. And it might not go that much further. You have to invest a lot of money heavily up front.
No, I'm not doing that shit.
For you to even move forward with these women who subscribe to the sprinkle.
I got no issue at all with you not putting me in a category of niggas that you want to date if I'm not trying to put bread out. Because I'm not putting bread out. It's not happening. If
you say no, you're dusty. That's the thing too. Like if you say no, it's not because you ain't got it, but no, because no, I'm not going to pay all your bills because I don't even know you. Why would I pay your bills if I don't even know you? I don't even know if you're wife material. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to get in the guts. Like, it might not even be something serious. Like, why would I pay all this money up front? It makes no sense.
I was raised by women that were like, yo, we're independent. We have our own careers. We make our own money. My grandma was like that. And my aunts were like that. I wasn't raised by my mom or dad. You know that. But that's how I was raised. And when I was married, that was the same way. It was like, it was never, the implication was never, hey, you pay all my bills. Yeah. It was like, yo, you have a career, I have a career. We're going to make this shit work together. We combine our money. We do this and that.
Right.
This is relatively new to me to hear all these people online talking about, oh, well, you got to pay all my bills.
Yeah.
But like, listen, why do women want to have it both ways? Why do women want to say, hey, pay all my bills, but hey, although you're paying all my bills, I'm independent and I don't need you. Why the fuck would anybody who has the money to pay all your bills just for them to kiss your ass?
It doesn't make any sense. It honestly doesn't. And you know what? You know what I think about, Phil? So I'm trying to drop the term high value, right? So now the term that I'm hearing now is men of means. I like that. Men who have resources, men who have access, men who have something to offer, right? Men of means. If you are a man of mean, you dictate how this relationship goes.
Right.
So if Shorty is telling you, you got to spend at least $200 on me on the first date for me to even go out with you, you know what you can say to her? No. If she calls you dusty, so what? She can move on to the next ball because listen, we know there's all the simps out there who will pay the fee.
They will.
That's what I hate. This is when I say, brothers, we got to stay on cold because we're here telling men one thing, but there are dudes out there who are simping for these shorties, messing up the game for everybody else because they're not on cold.
Let me tell a story real quick. I was probably maybe 13, 14, right? I had an older cousin. His name was BJ. And he was the one that I learned how to be a man from, right? Because I didn't have a dad, right? And I remember there was a girl that he didn't like, but she liked him. But I remember going to her when I was a kid and being like, she was like, oh, what's up with your cousin, blah, blah. Like, because she was only talking to me to get to him.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't know this at the time, but I was a kid. But I was just like, actually, I didn't know it. But I was still trying to be like, all right, so maybe I could use this relationship to kind of like,
right,
you know, get with you, right? Yeah. But I used to tell her like, yo, like, he don't like you like that. He always talking about how he don't like you, blah, blah, blah. And then while we would hang out during the summer or whatever, without school, I would come back home and I would talk to him and I'd be like, yo, B, like, bro, I told her, I should be like, yo, B, like, I told her, like, yo, you don't like her like that. And you know what I mean? Like, you think she stink and all that stuff. And I'm like, you feel it? And he told me, he was like, bro, you being a hater. And I was a kid and I was like, oh shit, like, I didn't know what that meant. He was like, listen, you can get at her without trying to insult me.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not trying to get at her. You trying to get at her. I get it. Yeah. He's like, but you don't have to trash me. Right.
Right.
And that's what I think happens today, you know what I mean, in dating or whatever. Like a lot of guys be like, oh, well, I'm gonna get at her, but trash the other guy.
Yeah.
And that's definitely hating. And I realized that back then. I didn't know when I was doing it.
Yeah.
Because I told him in real time. If I was hating on him and I knew, I would have told him, obviously, right?
Right.
But it's an ugly game out here.
It is. It really is. And that's what I want the young guys to understand, that the dating game right now is exactly what it is. It's a game. It is a game. It's a game. It's like chess or checkers right now. And once you understand female nature, and once you understand the current modern woman's mentality and how they get through, once you know and you study up on Sprinkle or anybody else who's giving these women crazy advice.
Her name is Shira 7.
You play the game. Shira 7, right? Yeah. You play the game accordingly. But at the end of the day, we choose if we want to spend the bread or not.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, y'all complaining about the game, but like at the end of the day, they want men to spend money on them.
Yeah.
If you have the means, all you have to say is no. You don't have to spend the bread.
Yeah.
If she's worth it, that's different.
Yeah.
If she's bad enough where you're like, damn, she's bad, I might have to dip in my pocket right now because maybe I don't stand her personality, but I'm trying to get these guts because she's fine as hell. I understand. But
that's where the game got fucked up. But that's what we talk about that all the time. That's where the game got fucked up, because there's levels to this shit, bro. When we was in high school, there were women. I don't know what high school you went to, right? But you don't know what high school was. But there were women in your high school that were clearly a class above the other women, right. And they had access to like the drug dealers in the neighborhood,
the athletes,
the dudes there would be dudes that's like 27, 25, 26 would drive them to school and shit like that. Like, they had access to them type of dudes, and the women, the level above them, below them, were the regular chicks that you probably had access to, that I had access to. It was like, okay, we didn't have any money. We were young bulls. We was 15, we was 14, and we're just like, okay, we can't buy you Jordans, bitch. But like, we like you. You're cool. You're cool. I think you're cute. You think I'm cute. You mean like? But it's like it was a fair interaction, and you chose not to deal with the top layer chicks because it's like y'all desire something that I can't provide. Right. The problem with the game today is all the women think that they're the top level chicks.
They're the top, right?
And they're not.
Right.
Every woman is not. And I get that women have a thing of being like, oh well, looks are subjective. Looks are subjective to a point. Right. For example, let me make this very clear. Let me make this very clear, right? If you take Precious, right, Gabrielle Sidibe, right, and you take Gabrielle Union, and you put 100 men in a room, and they say, hey, you could pick Gabrielle Union or Gabrielle Sidibe. Which one would you? And Gabrielle Union and both of them wanted that each 100 guy. In each those guys to say, hey, you know what? Which one do you want? They both want you. Which one do you want? Who do you think each one of those 100 guys would pick?
I'd say 95% of them would, probably 98% of them would choose Gabrielle Union. Hands down.
It's not as subjective as women like that.
Yeah, it's really not. It's really not.
There's levels to it, for sure. But if you think a woman's a 10, there's no way I think she's a 1.
Right.
And that's what women don't kind of like. Yeah. It's not as subjective as y'all like to think. It's really fucking not. Now, what fucks the game up is that regular dudes like me and you will say, hey, we took our chick because, she's better than us. But guess what? If, I don't know who you find super attractive, but let's say of Sweetie. If Sweetie came to you and said, yo, like, let me just be with you. I love you. I want to be with you. You're probably gonna be with Sweetie. Listen, bro. It is, and listen, and your significant other, whoever your significant other is, if you're with her in a serious relationship, y'all married or whatever, and I don't know, let's say, who's a big time dude, right? Black kid right now around our age that's like a big time dude.
That's like rapping and doing his thing.
Let's say NBA YoungBoy.
Okay. Let's
say NBA YoungBoy hit your girl up and say, yo, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. I just want to be with you, blah, blah. Like, are we gonna be honest about this shit? Or are we gonna be like
or Drake
or something like
Drake's
bro? She's dipping, bro. Like, it's just it's human nature to find the best desirable situation, unless there's an emotional capital built in.
But also remember, it's perception, because your woman might think that Drake is gonna treat her better and give her the world, and Drake might get them guts, and then after he get the guts, completely change on her and be like, all right, now go back to your man. So now you got to do back with.
But she'll take the chance.
Yeah, she'll take the chance. But remember, you got to understand, Drake might just want to have you for the night or for a few nights, and that's a wrap. So if you don't know that he's really taking you seriously, and you leave your relationship or your marriage, and if you got, let's say, God forbid, you got kids too, you leave all that and take a chance with Drake, who has all women who want to get at him.
Like so say like that Canon and Future. You don't think all them chicks knew that they was going to be the next baby mom? They just didn't care, bro. Because the status of those guys was high enough to where they was like they was willing to risk it.
They didn't care.
They didn't care.
There's a comedian now. She was a social media influencer. Now she's a comedian, but she made this joke on stage, and she was pregnant, and she's pregnant by Cam Newton. So she's another one of Cam Newton's baby moms.
Oh my God.
He's got like four or five of them, right? And she a baddie too.
She's a high class dude,
right? And she was just like.
Yeah.
And she was just like, listen, I don't mind being a baby dad. She was like, you be real. You know, she's like, if you're a baby dad, if the person who's going to be your baby dad is wealthy, you don't care. Yeah, I'll be a baby dad.
She said that.
Man.
She said that.
She said it on stage. She said it on stage.
You'll be the next motherfucker.
Women don't care. If he's famous and has status, I will be his baby mother.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to be taking care of him. You know what I mean? So, all right. So to bring back to what the shorty was talking about, it's just like, this idea of 50-50, right? This idea of 50-50 and why people are shying away from it. But like,
I'm a strong proponent of that shit, bro.
I think it's 100-100 though. I think it's 100-100. I think if you get 50 and I get 50, we're both not giving 100. We're literally giving half of what we can. So I know it's maybe like a metaphor or like the perception of it. For me, like relationship should be 100-100 because if you fail, I fail. If she fails to an extent,
but if you fail, she can just leave you for another nigga.
Damn. Ain't hypergamy a bitch?
It is what it is, right? Like it's like
that could happen. It could happen, but all right. I don't want to make men think that it's like pointless to get into a relationship, right? Like it might happen.
Listen, when I think
we're talking about modern women, though.
What I think is fair
type of thing
is that men think of it how women think of it. It's like, okay, I'll benefit. How do you like? It has to be a fair deal,
right?
It has to be a deal, and that's how I always thought of it. Even I'm 35 now. When I was 25, when I was 22, and I was like, yo, is this fair?
Right.
Because I'm not paying your bills. If a chick would have came to me like, yo, you got to pay all my bills, and I'd have been like, I'm cool.
Right.
Because I was never that like, and there are certain niggas that have to do that in order to have access to women.
In order to get,
and for me, it was an insult. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wait, I got to pay all your bills in order to have access to you? That's an insult to me.
Right.
So I would never do it, and I never had to have that conversation with anyone. I've never had a conversation with any woman in my life, bro, that I took serious. I was like, yo, you got to pay all my bills.
I've never had that either. That's why I feel like it's like a newer thing. Like, this is like maybe the past 10 years, because growing up, I didn't know shorties like that. You know, but growing up, we also didn't have the term city girl. There wasn't a city girl. There wasn't like a thing like that, like this modern woman thing. So now we have this now. So it's a recent development. It definitely is a recent development. Yeah, so...
And not that I think men are all that also. You know what I mean? Because I think niggas are pretty corny too. I know a lot of corny niggas, whatever.
There's a lot of lame bros.
A lot of lame ass niggas. I'm not saying that. But, yo, if men have to bring something tangible to the table, which how women say, hey, you got to bring money to the table.
Right.
You should be able to tell me something tangible you bring to the table.
Right.
Something tangible that I can fucking touch. Like you can touch my fucking money.
Right.
If we're going to have that deal, if I was born in this generation where the motherfuckers, it's like, okay, cool, what are you going to bring me then?
Right.
If I got to bring you money and pay your bills, what are you going to bring me?
Right. And you know what? To elaborate further on his point, he's so right. Ladies, we're dropping gems to you guys. We gotta understand. So once a man gets sex, once you give a man sexual access, after that, you have to figure out how to keep that man, right? If you want to keep that man, that's when you have to figure out, all right, how do I keep him outside of the bedroom, right? Because once we get sex, that's fine. Once we get, that's what we wanted the whole time. We wanted to get in them guts. But once we get in them, that's when you have to show us why we should keep you around.
That's why niggas be dipping.
Why we should take you seriously.
That's why niggas be dipping.
And that's real, because we're going to be like, how come a guy will sleep with me and then don't text me back? Or he'll be different. And it's like, because he didn't really like you like that. And once he got it, he might have gotten it,
right,
but he don't really like you.
No.
So once you give him access to sexual access, then now you have to do something outside of the bedroom to see why he should keep you around. That's how kind of men function. Like, do you add any value outside of the bedroom?
Nigga, I've gone super hard for women that I didn't have sex with. After I have sex with them, I'm like, okay, now what?
Right.
Because now you got to work hard for me. Because
right.
Now
because I already got what I wanted.
Yeah, if I dip.
Right. So why should I keep you around now? Especially if I'm a man of means. Especially if I have options. Like, I have options. Especially I got shorties in my DMs. Like, if I can pull something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be committed to just one person. I can just be out here just playing the game. running through shoulders if I wanted to. So like that's the thing. Like once you give a man sexual access, if you want to keep him around, you got to figure out, okay, so now how do I keep him around? Because I didn't gave him the guts. I didn't give him sexual access. How do you keep him around? That's when the ball is in your court now. Right. Because otherwise you will get ghosted. You will get that man who switches up on you after he hits it. Now, if he really likes you and he sees value outside the bedroom, he'll keep you around. Shit. He might even wife you up, depending if you give off wifey vibes. You know what I mean? It depends. But just a gem for the ladies. You got to understand that's how men operate. Once we have sex, what are you offering outside of the bedroom that I should keep you around and take you seriously? What is that? You know what I mean? Like if I wake up and you making breakfast, or maybe you did my laundry, or maybe
let me ask you,
up my. Yeah.
What's the turn off? Like what's the turn off for you if a woman, let's say you're single, and you're dating, you're out there, you're courting, you're talking to multiple women. If a woman say this specific thing, are you like, all right, bro, we done? So what's the thing that women say? You be like, yo, we done?
I think if it's too early into a relationship or into like a situationship, if she's like, so what are we? That's when I'm just like, nah. Like if we was here to have fun, especially if I told you I'm not looking for nothing serious, as soon as they start catching feelings, that's when I'm just like, this is not what it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on what the expectation was, like what was set up. Yeah. But for me, it's like women who want to be casual but then catch feelings, and I'm fucking.
When I hear women say, "I don't give head," I be like, oh, "We done. We finished. We done."
Yeah.
I be like, "Yo, we done."
So this is definitely more of a grown topic, but I'm with you. Yeah. I can't do the I don't give head. Like,
bro, I'm like, are you serious?
I'm like Cat Williams. Like, it's 2000 and something. They still make people like you. They still make women like you who don't give head.
I be like, bro,
what?
Like, I've had a conversation with women. I be like, oh, cool. Well, we too many friends. We gonna text everyone.
That's a hard one, and it depends on the man, of course. But like, I will agree with Ty on that one. Like, that's something that I genuinely enjoy, and enthusiasm is appreciated. And if it's completely off the table, no. Like,
well, listen, family. Tell us what y'all think. What's y'all thing that y'all like? Yo, you know what? This is just an absolute no. Like, comment, subscribe, share our stuff. Listen, we making it big. We still at the ground level right now, but listen, we making moves, baby steps. We crawling right now. We're gonna be walking soon. We're gonna be running. Then we're gonna be fucking sprinting, fucking flying after that. Then we're gonna be fucking teleporting. So
until next time, like, subscribe, and y'all be safe, okay? Yeah.